Hidden features of Microsoft Teams. Are you underutilizing Microsoft Teams? Teams has quickly become one of the top collaboration tools used throughout the business world. If you're currently using Teams, you know firsthand that Microsoft is constantly rolling out new features and updates, many of which tend to go under the radar. Most of these updates and features are real game changers in terms of what can be done through collaboration applications. From full phone systems to seamless third-party application integrations, Microsoft Teams is constantly evolving and adding advanced features designed to boost productivity within your organization. Thank you for joining us today as we explore the overlooked features within Microsoft Teams and demo how they can help streamline both communication and collaboration efforts within your organization.
Hi everybody, this is Dan Johnson, VP Business Development at Greyvock. Thanks for joining us today for what I'm sure will be an interesting presentation. For those of you who don't know us, we're a 26-year-old technology solutions provider headquartered north of Boston, and during that time we've been dedicated to providing expert IT and information system support to organizations throughout North America. Lately, we've been leveraging Microsoft Teams, a part of the Office 365 suite, to collaborate and stay connected to our coworkers, and our resident experts have uncovered some unique and interesting features that might not be immediately evident to the casual user. That's why we're here today with our senior IT solutions engineer and Teams guru, Joey Nicotera, who will be presenting the hidden features of Microsoft Teams. This will be a fun and informative session where we hope you'll learn something that you didn't already know about Microsoft Teams. So with that, take it away, Joey.
Thanks, Dan. And hey, everybody, thank you for joining our webinar. Thank you for giving me a reason to get dressed for work today. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy and happy during this crazy time. And one of the things that is hopefully keeping us closer together is technology. And everybody is collaborating using all these cool, exciting tools that have been sitting there for a while and suddenly having this huge resurgence and usage. And one of those is Microsoft Teams. And what I want to show you are some of the lesser known features and some of the ways that we could use Teams to better benefit the collaboration between all the folks that you have that work there. So Microsoft Teams has an integrated phone system where, in addition to the messaging features that Teams offers, you can actually just pick up the phone and call one of your teammates, one of your coworkers, either by using your computer or by using the Teams app on your phone. And this is very important because for those folks that have a Microsoft audio conferencing and data dialing package, there's a license involved and all that, you can actually assign your associates actual phone numbers, or you can route through their voice over IP numbers to their Teams application. And we'll show you how to do that later. But the first thing that I want to show you is how easy it is to call someone in Teams. So I'm going to share my screen right now. So this is my Teams application, and I have a couple of options here. Now, this is a team that we've set up specifically for this demonstration. If I go to the left on my screen where this call tab is and click that, I actually get a list of all the folks that I've interacted with recently, some folks that I have been chatting with, and Christine, who I talked to most recently, is right at the top of my list, and I had added her to my speed dial. So just like this, I'm going to give her a call. And we'll see if she's there.
Hello?
Hey, Christine, how's it going?
Hey, Joey, how's it going?
No complaints for a Thursday. I'm losing track of what day of the week it is. I'm just giving a demonstration of Microsoft Teams for everybody, so I'll probably be bothering you like 10 more times. So you can hang up by your computer if you would.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Now, Microsoft asks you to rate the call quality for those things because as they are rolling out Teams to more and more companies, they're trying to improve the performance of it. And you will see that over time, as your associates report in that call quality, things are actually going to get better and the call quality is going to improve. Now, from the call tab, that is one place where you could certainly call everyone. Another place you could do that is from the chat window here. So if I'm chatting with somebody about anything, you'll see on the top right-hand screen, I have a couple of options. One being a video call, which you can transition into from an audio call, and one is the audio call. So let's call Christine again.
Hello again.
Hello again. I'm going to show everybody how easy it is to add somebody else to the call. So let's see if Steve is at his desk. It looks like he might be busy, but let's see if he answers. Oh, it looks like he's busy. All right, well, let's try somebody else. Well, had Steve been available, we would have been able to have a conference call, and it was as simple as that. And I accidentally hung up on everybody. But so that's as simple as that is, and that can also be done from your phone. And one of the really cool things about Teams is that when you do something like that, well, now Steve's calling back. So let's answer the call, shall we? Hey, sir, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. We were just testing the audio conferencing things in Teams for our presentation. So hang on just a second. I want to invite Christine back in so everybody can see how easy this is to do. Let's see if Christine picks up.
Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody. Can you all hear each other? All right.
Yes.
There you go.
Pretty honorable. Angry woman.
All right, thanks.
I wasn't expecting that for a couple more hours when I got home.
Thanks, guys. I'll be bothering you again soon, I'm sure. So it's as simple as that. We use it pretty extensively here at Greybock, which is it's a lot of fun and sometimes a lot in general. But that said, one of the things that you can do, because this is a phone system, is you can actually change your status up here on the top right-hand screen. Not only can now who's calling me? Now Steve's calling me back. Excuse me for a second. Hey, what can I do for you?
Did you hang up?
I did hang up. Yeah, I was going back to the presentation.
Do you want me on this call?
No, I don't.
Need me on. I was gonna do my Jack Nicholson.
No.
Do you want me on this call?
No, I don't need you anymore. I just wanted to show people how easy it is to do a group chat.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, sir. Bye. So again, that really perfectly illustrates why you might want to change your status. So not only can I pick from the standard statuses, available, busy, do not disturb, I'll be right back. I can actually appear as though I'm offline and still see notifications. I can also set a custom status message that mentions somebody else. So if I say this, I'm busy. If you need something, call Steve. And people can then click his name on my status and get right to him. I can actually even see when I get the message. I can clear it off after a couple of days, or I can leave it on forever, but I will stay available. As I was mentioning before, one of the things that's neat about Teams is that when you make phone calls, when you look at files, when you have chats, all of those things get stored in a log. So I can right here go to my call history and see everybody that I talked to, incoming and outgoing, and very easily just call them right back or start a chat right from here. So I can bring up this chat window and continue the conversation online or offline. This can happen while you're on the phone. This can happen while you're off the phone. You can do this from your mobile device, or you can do this from your desktop. So those are some of the basics of the phone system. And the next thing that I want to talk about are some of the application integrations in Teams. So Microsoft Teams allows you access into applications made by Microsoft, and it also allows you access into third-party applications. So the first thing that I want to show you are some of the Microsoft integrations. If we go back into our Teams window, here we go. So we're back in our Teams window here. So I created a team specifically for this webinar, and across the top, you'll see some tabs that I've put up here that everybody in the team has access to. One of the ones that I think we should talk about first is Microsoft Word. If I click the Microsoft Word tab, you'll see that this is a document that I've already started working on. Not only do I have full Word capabilities, as you can see across the menu bar on the top, and my screen is actually magnified so that everybody can see what's going on. As I make edits, everyone that's in the team that has access to this document can see it. So not only can you have a conversation about the document as it's being edited, I can actually see that Christine is in the document and starting to make changes. And I have a funny feeling that I know the change that she's going to make. I can ask her right from here, Yeah. I figured as much. Yeah. So that gets stored in Teams. And this is actually available to everyone. The cool thing about this is once this is done, in my Office 365 application, these changes will be reflected if I open it in another application, but we'll get to that in a bit. Another thing that we can do is take a third-party application like this one here called Hey Taco. And Hey Taco is a collaborative platform that allows you to recognize other team members by sending them virtual tacos throughout the day. You are allowed 5 tacos per person that you can give out to anyone. And then you have a leaderboard here that shows who's getting what. So we hand them out in our office if somebody gets a nice letter from a customer, if somebody helps somebody bring back a file that they couldn't find. And you can add on as many of these applications. There are games, there's other notifications, there's Wikipedia articles that you can add in here. And it all gets fully integrated, and it's all available in the Teams app on your phone and in the documents, and in the desktop version, I'm sorry. Getting back to Microsoft Word, I can take these specific documents and actually put them on the top of the tab. So if I wanted one that to be constantly referenced for everyone, you'll notice that the change that Christine made is reflected here, and it even gives me notification that somebody touched it. So, and yet another third-party application, which I think is pretty cool, is the web page application. So we can add a website to the top tab in a team. Everybody that's in the team can be talking about it at the same time, and we can have a collaborative discussion about it as well. So this is great for creative groups or folks that are working on either an AutoCAD drawing, or folks that are working on a layout for a document, or even an email that's going to go out all company, because not only can you make changes together, you can actually talk about them. So another fun application that you can use is one that I like, because Teams acts as a layer over your Microsoft operating system. So you can do things like grab the hardware, grab the camera, and grab the microphone from some really neat third-party ones, including one of my favorite ones, which is called Snap Camera. And it allows you to change what you see on your screen. If you are working from home by yourself and you want a little companionship, you might, for example, want to invite Paco here to hang out with you while you're working, or you may want to feel slightly more radiant of sorts. But we'll just let Paco here hang out for a little bit. And the reason why this works is because Teams operates as an application that's layered on top of everything else. So you can pick a webcam or a snap filter like this. You can use different microphones like I'm using now, or you can even add in third-party hardware, as I mentioned before. A regular phone handset will still work with your Teams number if you want the traditional, like, hold it up to your face experience without going totally hands-free. If you're a classicist in that regard, you do have that option. Poor Paco here is getting nervous because I keep moving my head too quickly. But that just gives you one idea of one of the many things that you can do for Teams integration. There are game applications. You can use Wikipedia. So the next thing we're going to talk about is collaboration in Teams and document sharing and what you can do. So Microsoft Teams, by default, when you create documents, stores them in the team itself, which then is also directed to SharePoint. So every time you create a team site, you're actually creating a mini SharePoint site that has a document library just like SharePoint normally has. You can share those documents with guests, with external recipients, if that's allowed by your organization, or you can share them with each other and work on them live in your Office 365 applications. So I'm going to open up Microsoft Word and then bring it over to the screen here. Hopefully the screen will get bigger so you can see. And here is the document that we were working on. And you can see Christine and I had worked on this just a couple of minutes ago. If I open it up, you'll see the change that I had, and then you'll see the change that Christine made, just as if we were working in Microsoft Teams. Now, this is a standard Word document, but it is stored in the Teams world. So you don't have to worry about losing any data. If you look in the top right-hand corner here, it's all auto-saved. So I don't have to worry about data loss. Every change that I make is stored in Teams, and versioning is done in SharePoint. So from a team standpoint, you'll see the document was worked on just a few minutes ago. SharePoint is actually keeping a copy of all those changes, and you can roll back to different versions. It's a standard SharePoint feature, but now it's done automatically as opposed to having to do document, check out, and check back in. You can certainly do document checkout and check back in, but you don't have to. So let's go back into what I talked about before, and that was Office 365 integration. Teams allows you to integrate all of your Office applications. Now, we showed you Microsoft Word, but another one that would work just as well would be Microsoft Excel. You could also do PowerPoint and work on those together. And then other Microsoft applications like Power BI is available. So you could have a bunch of data analysts working on the same data set and collaboratively creating new infographics, new charts, and all those things are happening live in real time, and all those things are happening auto-saved and able to be, commented on and chatted about and shared with other people all at the same time. And you could even pick up the phone and say, I'm tired of typing to you. I just want to talk to you about this. And an example of that is meetings. So I'm going to open up my Outlook app so you can see how that works. So bear with me for just a moment here. And one of the things that you'll see in my calendar view is the ability to create a new Teams meeting. So from here, when I click New Teams Meeting, you're going to see the standard Microsoft Outlook meeting setup. But it will allow me to pick folks from the organization and also suggest times when they would be available. So I can see that there's no conflicts between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. So I could send this along to them. And all that they would have to do when they receive this notification is click Join Microsoft Teams Meeting. Teams opens up and video and audio will just start working. In addition, I have an audio conferencing license. So a user that gets this invitation would be able to call this number and enter the conference ID and just join on their phone if they didn't have Microsoft Teams. Now, you'll notice this conference ID number, it actually changes every time, even if it's a recurring meeting. And the reason for that is because from a security standpoint, if you're changing your conference ID number each time, it reduces the ability for somebody that was in the meeting before that shouldn't be in the meeting now to just enter it without anybody knowing about it. In addition, we can have a lobby set up so that when new users are joining the meeting, the host actually has to allow them to come in. So it just, again, it's another level of security. And if you were to go back to your Teams client, I'm not going to save my changes here. And I'm going to share my desktop on this side one more time. You'll see that my calendar is the same over here in Teams. And I can right click, I can send a meeting invitation right from in here, or I could actually even do it from the Teams window. So those were some of the main points that we wanted to cover. There's obviously a lot more. And now we want to open it up to you guys for some questions, and I'll hopefully have the answers. And if I don't, maybe Paco will. See. So we actually do have a question already, and it's coming in from Armando. Armando wants to know how to forward calls. It's actually really easy, Armando. You can do it one of two ways. For forwarding all of your calls, you click your Teams profile logo, which is at the top of the screen. Let me show you that, actually. Let me go to my Teams app. Bear with me for just a second here. Hold on just a moment. Takes a minute for the streaming software to catch up with all the windows that I have open. Just a second here. You're going to click your profile on the upper right-hand corner. And what that's going to allow you to do is, let's see if I can just share the screen all together. Sorry about this. Come on. Looks like our Vimeo platform is having a little trouble here. So hold on just a sec. All right, so hopefully you can see my Teams screen. Let's see if that works. And looks like it is. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm going to flip over, and you should be able to see Teams now. Okay, so I can actually go to my profile up here. I go to Settings, and then I go to Calls, and then I can forward everything from here and decide where it's going to forward to. I can forward to a group. I can forward to a different person. And if I wanted to transfer a call that I was on, if I'm in an audio call, I can actually select the ellipsis at the bottom of the screen, select transfer, and point out who I'm going to transfer my call to. So let's see if we have, oh, sorry, can't see Teams, wrong screen. Hold on one sec. I'm going to try to do that one more time. There we go. Okay. So let's try this now. Now you should be able to see it, right? You should be able to see Microsoft Teams. So I can go up here to my profile, click settings, click calls, and then go to forward my calls. And again, if I was actually in a call, I could transfer the call right from the window. That works for one-on-one calls only. It does not work for group chats. You can't forward a group chat to someone else. And speaking of calls, one thing that I did want to show everybody, let's go back to our Teams application window here. If you wanted to call somebody outside the company, you can certainly do that by going to calls. If you have the correct license, you can just enter a phone number here. And let's see if someone answers. Back to our Teams application. Hello. Hey, can you hear me? Oh, I'm calling.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Sorry. That's my mom, by the way. Well, I just called my parents, and I think because my microphone is actually in the web stream, it's not letting me use both things at the same time. But I guarantee you she's going to be calling me back in a couple of minutes. So let's see. Let's go back to any other questions that we might have. So Rich asked, how's the performance on lower end hardware? That's a really good question. So what Microsoft Teams does, if you have the Teams app, when you make calls and you keep doing that, it asks you to rate the call quality. Based on those ratings, it will actually sort of ramp down or ramp up the performance, but it can adjust itself. And the difference that you're going to hear is there's just going to be a little bit less fidelity in the voice. It's just going to sound like you're talking on a less expensive phone as opposed to speaking in a recording studio like we are now. So yes, you can use lower end hardware and not have to worry. Again, it'll just adjust down. So video performance, for example, might go from 720p to like 380, but all video and audio conferencing platforms will do that for you. Brad asked, are messages saved and can they be reviewed by admins? Yes, absolutely. So voicemails are all saved, call logs are all saved, and they can be reviewed by Teams admins that you specify. Wow, we got a lot of calls coming in. Great. Tom asks, are all documents on OneDrive shared? Okay, that's a really good question. So when we talk about file sharing in Teams, we have OneDrive and we have SharePoint. So OneDrive is like a My Documents folder. That is designed for you to use and individually share files out to somebody else. So that's a sort of higher privacy for your personal files that you're working on. You want to control their access. SharePoint is where you have a bunch of files that are accessed by a group of people, but you can still add permissions to them. But SharePoint is for a group, and you can whittle down. OneDrive is for an individual, and you can expand. And in terms of privacy, how that works, you can actually specify different levels of access to certain things. You can make a team completely private so that if someone's not invited to the team, they don't know that it exists. Or you can make a team public so that others can request access to those. Now, there are some limitations and there are some caveats that you have to be aware of because, for example, when you create a group in Office 365, even if that group is restricted to a certain amount of members, some of the content in that group can be automatically indexed by search. So if someone was looking for a search term, they could inadvertently pull up things that you don't want them to see. So it's important to consult with your friendly IT engineer here when you're creating a new group if you have confidential information, because there's different security settings that you're going to want to enable to really lock down the results of that. Bank W Staffing wants to know, are you able to set up ring groups and call flows? Yes, absolutely. Individuals can also set up ring groups. You can use teams as ring groups. You can set up an auto attendant. Press 1 for this group, press that for the other. You can do full call hunt and parking, and individuals can do that as well. So just to kind of show you, if I bring up my Teams window over here, so bear with me for a second here. Let's see, my Teams app window. So you should be able to see my desktop again. If I go to the top right-hand corner, actually, Mike, can we shift this view over just a little bit so folks can see, or maybe if I can move it. There we go. Thank you. If I look at my profile here and I want to change my call forwarding settings, you can actually see as an individual, I can specify a call group right here. So if you're going to be out of the office or you're waiting for an important call from a customer and you want to make sure that a bunch of people, get the call in case they call in, it's really easy to do that. And again, I can also change the ringtone for these guys as well. Let's see. So Amy asks, how can you add PowerPoint to a new group and can you see the changes in the SharePoint app? So let me show you. I can actually show you this. Let's go back to Teams. And we'll use this group that I set up here. We have a team set up. So it's as easy as coming to the tab on the top of the screen here and picking PowerPoint. So I can give it we'll just give it a tab name. And we actually have to create a document. So if I had a PowerPoint document, we would start here. So that's how you would add it to the team. Again, it's as simple as that. And then everybody can collaborate on that. Let me go back to the question here. So hold on just a sec. I want to make sure that I answer it specifically. Can you see the changes in the SharePoint app? Yes. So when you have a file in Teams, everybody that's in that team can see the changes live as they are happening. So you can all be working together. One admin person can say this person can see it but can't edit it, but you can all work together and see the change. And the group, it'll give the group access in SharePoint as well. So let me back up a little bit. When you create a team, you're also creating a mini SharePoint site. So I can show you this here in the tab. So hold on just a minute. Let's go back to the screen share. So I'm going to go back to my team that I just created. So I have this team site here, and here's my team webinar. And we have files that are in here, like that test Word document. And you see one of the things that I have right here is open in SharePoint. So let's do this right here. Now what's probably going to happen is it's going to open a web page, which you won't see on my screen share, but that's exactly how you would do it. So you have your SharePoint site that is linked to your team. Can you change the ring sounds? Yes, you can assign a ringtone to specific people like you would on your cell phone. You can assign a ringtone to a group. You can assign a separate ringtone if you're on Do Not Disturb. You can upload your own ringtones if you want to, or you can use the stock ones that are in Microsoft Teams, and I'll show you where that is. Let's go back to my screen here. Hold on a sec. All right. Or not. Let's try that again. Sorry, folks. Live TV here. I'm navigating like 5 different windows. So if I go up to my profile here, go to settings, and go to calls, you'll see forwarded calls, delegated calls, calls for me. So I can have, if I'm in a hunt group, I can have one ringtone. If I have something being forwarded to me from somebody else, if I'm in a delegation, say I'm an admin answering calls for another person, I can have that be a different ring as well. And of course, you can like test them all and pick the different tones and all that. So it's pretty straightforward. So let's look at the next question. Let's see. So Christoph said, sometimes when you're working on a Word doc via Teams on shared drive, the updates are not real time, but have a significant delay, and you can't both control the screen simultaneously. So there's a couple of ways to avoid that. So if you're working with different versions of Microsoft Word and linking that document into Teams, and you have Word open and Teams open at the same time, it can create a lag because what it's trying to do is upload the document in Teams and on Word at the same time. So if you have two different versions of Microsoft Word and you have Teams open as well, the reason for that delay is because of that constant circular need to update all the documents together. So when you're collaborating in a document in Teams, the best thing to do is actually work directly in the Teams app on that document exclusively, and that usually improves performance. Any other questions coming in? I think we're good. Yeah. So let's just wait just a minute here. Christine, can a physical phone be used as well for calls? Yes, absolutely. So you can do two things. You can use your mobile phone and bring up the Teams app. And let's see if I can find the Teams app on my phone. I usually just bring it up here. So the Teams app on my phone here, I'll try to back it up a little bit. Looks like the Teams app in my window. And not only can I call all the folks here, but I can actually go to my call setting and this, and I actually have a regular dial pad. I'll back it up a little bit. And both Polycom, Avaya, I guess you can't see that, it's a little bright. So Polycom, Avaya, and Novatel and Mitel all make handsets that completely integrate with Microsoft Teams, including conferencing phones. So Polycom makes a conferencing phone that you can put in a conference room, and on the menu will be all of your Teams contacts. You can actually kind of scroll right through on the phone, click, 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 and then bring it up on the screen and do your full web conference like you would if you were having other folks dial in. And it looks like we have one more. Yeah, there's been a big surge in the hardware and software that's available to add on to Teams because obviously suddenly it's becoming a very important function. And a lot of companies are realizing that if you use Teams as opposed to relying completely on email, you're increasing productivity because you're looking at exactly what you need to look at. If I'm on a project team for a specific customer, I'm not necessarily interested in all of the alert notifications that I get for other things, or messages about sales from CDW or things like that. But I can just keep the Teams window open and be focused on the messages that are important to that particular project. Darlene asks, what if you no longer have the icon for Teams meeting on your calendar? Here's one of the caveats with Microsoft software. It's constantly being updated. The Teams app is constantly being updated. Outlook is constantly being updated. And sometimes those can get desynchronized. And the way to get icons to kind of sync up again is to just run Microsoft Update and let it check your entire platform. And usually that solves the problem. If not, there's a couple of other things you can do in the registry, and you could just email support and we can take care of that for you. We have anything else? And as always, if you are already using Microsoft Teams, if you haven't started using it yet, reach out to us. We are happy and excited. I'm very excited about Teams, so to help you work through any issues that you might be having. All right, we have no more questions. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Again, I appreciate having a reason to get dressed up for work again. I hope everybody stays safe and happy and healthy. We are here for you if you need us. Give us a shout out. And again, I'm happy to geek out about this stuff all day long. So that's what I'm here for. So thanks, everybody.